Thank you. Good morning. My name is Trey Scott, and I'm founder and CEO of WatchPitch, where we make a difference in 60 seconds or less. In keeping with Shark Tank, we are seeking $250,000 to start our seed round in exchange for 5% equity in our company. So earlier in my career, I was a reporter and producer for CBS News. And I became an expert at telling stories in less than 60 seconds every night. WatchPitch puts entrepreneurs and investors together in a model, a matchmaker model, that's a well-developed, proven revenue model. But that's getting ahead of myself. So there are 4 to 5 million new businesses that start up every year. That clocks in at 11,000 every day. Less than 2% of those businesses will ever receive capital from investors, and actually 82% of them will fail in the first 18 months for lack of that capital. The problem is deal flow. Deal flow takes a long time. This is when you as an entrepreneur recognize you need some money, you need some capital. And now you need to find out who are the people that have capital and how do I get to it? So now you're emailing, you're calling, you're asking friends and family. This takes weeks. You reach somebody, now you begin a conversation. That conversation, that deal flow can take 6 months or longer or never happen at all. Entrepreneurs are missing out on the opportunity to access this capital to get their businesses to thrive, and investors are missing out because they're missing out on opportunities because it's taking them too long for them to get to a deal. We connect entrepreneurs and investors with simplicity, ease, and efficiency. So how does it work? An entrepreneur has an idea. They download the app, they get coached, and they create a pitch that lasts 60 seconds. They develop it, they send it through the pipeline to WatchPitch investors who review it, score it, and give them feedback within a matter of moments, not months. The pitcher is coached as to how to do and deliver a good pitch, a good, thoughtful, passionate pitch, and the structure is broken down to deliver that pitch very thoughtfully with the video tools on board. The watcher user gets to play that video and score it according to rubrics that are important to the watcher. And as for the investor, they get to share these ideas with the investors' teams that they're inevitably aligned with. So they, as a group, can make a very efficient decision about whether or not to proceed with this entrepreneur. What is our revenue model? Our revenue model is a subscription-based dual revenue model. Subscribers from the entrepreneur side of the equation and subscribers from the investor side of the equation with additional features, basically elevating that subscription investment. The entrepreneurs are investing in a quarter or 3-month period of working on the app with their WatchPitch. Our revenue models are based on 2018 user acquisition numbers associated with a very aggressive approach, a combination of a very aggressive, moderate, and very conservative approach to our onboarding of users. Our users, we know, are going to take some time, so we have a very conservative approach to our early onboarding of both investors and paying users. Our goal is 25 paying users by the end of 2018. What is our marketing acquisition strategy? It's a ground strategy, pitch contests, conferences, road shows. Our web strategy is partnering with very strategic influencers, social media, strategic ad buys, and partnerships, and early adopter partners. We have been selected to be part of the official platform for the Coca-Cola Bridge program in Tel Aviv, where WatchPitch is being used as the platform to vet these partners in the Tel Aviv entrepreneurial community to participate and perhaps even acquire part of their business as part of the Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, or Turner brands. Our competitor analysis shows you very clearly that we are a very entrepreneurial-centric business. We're supporting investors, but we're very behind the entrepreneurs and getting their ideas into the marketplace. Our core team is extraordinary. We have a lot of depth here locally from Asheville PRC Apps. We have some amazing strategic team partners as well, many of them from some very important brands that you're all familiar with. And our advisory group is stellar. I might point to Flipboard in particular, which is a platform where basically it's a Tinder for your personal news. Thank you very much. I welcome your questions.
Thank you, Trey.
Sure, Jim.
Heard you speak several times.
Yes, you
I
have.
can see it keeps getting refined. And,
Thank you.
It's sounding very good. I don't necessarily want to play the part of Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, but since you brought it up.
Go ahead, go there.
I think the valuation is a little high for a startup. You don't mention here where your product is. I've been getting your emails, so I know you're in beta testing.
Yes.
That may be one thing you want to bring up in the pitch is really how far along the product is.
Can I address that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically in my appendix, what I have done is identified where I'm coming up with that valuation. We are, by the way, launching in 8 days. So on February 1st, you can go to WatchPitch.com. You can download the app from the App Store, and we'd love you to check it out. There is a freemium. You can use it for free for the first 7 days. I think you'll fall in love with it if you're an entrepreneur and as an investor. And our valuation is really based on our 5x year revenues, and these are here. Based on, again, the blue line is very conservative. We have 3 different, basically, spreadsheets. We're looking at very conservative user acquisitions in addition to very aggressive, and that combination is what's driving our numbers. I'm glad you mentioned that, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to do it all in 5 minutes,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
right, but I appreciate the question.
See, I don't think that was turned on.
Okay, there we go. So it's good to see you again. I think that we
Yes.
had met earlier
Thanks,
as well.
Kane. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's great to see the evolution. And so a couple questions. When the coaches, do the coaches ever say no, that this isn't a fundable idea?
The coaches for the actual
The
entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
In fact, they welcome it because what I'm doing on the platform is reinforcing their brand as coaches so that there's links from the coaches, because I think entrepreneurs might fall in love with a certain type of coach, or they may need a specific facet of coaching that others may not. And so there's a hot link to their site so they can cross-promote, and I'm now delivering users to their site and potential clients. But I think picking the right coach is very organic. Right now it's kind of listening to entrepreneurs and what kind of support they need. So I am trying to broaden the amount of coaches and the types of coaches that are available on the platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason I ask about the coach ever saying no is because I wonder that first slide, and I think we had talked about it earlier, of the number of deals that are funded
Yes.
versus the actual fundability. And so where that number lies, so sure, startups fail because of not being funded, but how many of those were actually fundable and actually would have driven returns? Because even in a portfolio of investments, 2 or 3 are going to drive the entire fund portfolio.
You're absolutely right. And I think one of the pieces here that's so valuable is that the scoring metrics for the investors, they're able to actually go, yeah, this works, this doesn't work. The beauty of that is that score goes to the entrepreneur. And now the entrepreneur can go, okay, I really got to work on this conversation. I have to actually dig deeper and do better at pitching and bringing my value proposition out into the open. So I think there's a really shared value in this ecosystem that I'm hoping is reinforced constantly.
Mm-hmm. And what protects you from Gus making a feature that is WatchPitch? Like,
So,
what's your moat there?
A lot of this is the structure of the pitch, the coaching of the pitch. I actually feel that at some point, Gus may either compete with me or come to me and knock on my door and go, you know what, we want this. And I'm open to that conversation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, Trey.
Yeah, likewise, Tom.
Good progress.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about the match. Is there matching logic between the investor and their profile and what they're looking for and the entrepreneurs that are creating pitches?
So good question. What I don't have here is a slide that is showing our thumbnail, if you will, for the entrepreneurs. So there will be a self-sorting kind of metrics so that people as investors, if they're, say, looking for just biotech investing, their profile will be in there, and all they will see is those types of pitches. So we're doing a better job of, on the thumbnail of the entrepreneur, asking them some qualifying and clarifying questions about their pitch. So then they get sort of categorized and labeled in particular categories that really then make it super efficient for an investor to go, yeah, I'm only looking at, blockchain deals. And so I just want to see anybody that's talking about that. If nobody's on there, then great, I'm out until I maybe get a notification and go, hey, this person just posted a pitch and it's blockchain related. You might want to have a look at it. Boom. Yeah.
You went over your revenue model pretty quickly, but I think I caught that for the investors, it was something like $400 a month or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that puts you into a price category of other larger marketplace platforms that venture and PE use. One that comes to mind is called Axial, which is right around the, when I used it a long time ago, it was around $600 a month. I would encourage you to take a look at those platforms because I would agree, in terms of the problem, I would agree that deal flow is a major problem for any investor at any stage, but it's qualified deal flow, it's targeted deal flow. What's not helpful is to get a bunch of noise. So if you look at those other larger platforms, one, I think you can gain some insight into pricing model and look at the value proposition for I think the level investor that you're going to be attracting, which is going to be more of an angel type investor, early stage investor, and $4.99 I would challenge that. $4.99 there isn't a lot of funds out there that are investing at this level that are going to have enough budget to be able to pay $4.99. I know I couldn't.
Yeah,
as an individual, yeah, and I love that comment that you made earlier during the Hatch presentation was, as an individual investor, maybe that might be a little high,
Yeah.
but you aren't actually my ideal client. My ideal client is the Venture Souths, who are vetting hundreds and hundreds of deals almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And how do you then, because I would imagine Josh is probably going through, before you have your monthly meetings as angel investors, he's probably going through, at least 5x, 10x numbers of pitches before you sit down and look at the top 10. And so this is a vetting tool for a house like that.
Yeah, I would really explore that assumption quite a bit because for every one venture, there's not a lot of venture souths out there. So in order to get to your revenue numbers, you have to get scale. Yeah. And that would concern me. That's a big price tag for the level of investment that folks are making. Okay. Another thing that I'd like to understand more, and I don't think I know I didn't get it from the pitch, is that if you look at what the pitch is, it's a summation of the business model or the business plan. And so one of my favorite analogies is an iceberg analogy, and so what you see above the surface is the pitch, but below the surface is the business model itself. And so one of the things that would be particularly interesting about WatchPitch is to ensure that one of the things I'd recommend that you consider, and maybe you've got an answer for this, is what are you doing to improve the overall quality of the pitch? And by doing that indirectly, you have to address some of the business model gaps that are there. So is there a training component to it? You've got the coaches and everything else. Is there something that's more systematic in nature to help folks address key gaps in their business model? Because the reality is that the pitch is easy, the diligence is hard.
So you're speaking not so much to the coaching tools for the entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think it's easy to coach up somebody to give a pitch to describe a high-level business concept. where the deals will fail is the deals will fail in diligence and cross-examination. So when we start asking more penetrating questions, it's like, oh, well, okay, you don't have that figured out, or you don't have that in place, or this team is not sufficient, or I just don't get it, right? But the pitch was compelling because that's, you know, a very small focused
Correct.
Kind of view into, it's a, you know, kind of a preview, it's a teaser, a
I agree.
sizzle reel,
I agree.
right?
Yes, right.
The rubber really meets the road when you start to examine the business. So I think that's where you might have some opportunities to build that part out of it. If the value proposition was, look, yeah, we'll help you do the pitch, and that's going to get you in front of investors. But really, the end game is we want you to survive that process and ultimately get, you know, some funding. So we've got to address some of this stuff on your business model.
And the screen I can't show you yet, but you will see it when it launches in 8 days, is the ability to attach documents like decks, financials, business plans. And we're encouraging our entrepreneurs, of course, to be sure to attach those so that as soon as you're interested, now you can drill down and get underneath that iceberg and take a look at what's really underneath the surface. And that's a big part of championing the strength of the platform.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.